Yo, it's the Funsie podcast. Just listen and just crack open a cold one. That's a seltzer. Don't get too excited. I did have this handy, and I was like, yeah, I'll make that happen. Yo, it's the Funsie podcast. The boys are all here. You guys don't know. We were supposed to have a guest. Unfortunate, was not able to make it, but should be with us next week, so keep an ear out for that.
Actually, he bailed on us. He's banned from the podcast.
Yeah, actually kind of hate him.
Blacklisted. He's done. He's never coming.
It should be a really fun conversation for sure, because this individual is every time that I see them, I go out of my way to go hang out and say hi, and it's always a good time.
Cool freaking guy.
Yeah, dude, the coolest of frickinest of guys. Just dude, yeah, I'm here with Ben and Jay Millie. I'm sure you already know that at this point. So it's the off season, boys. We can pretty much go whatever direction that we're really feeling like. I do have a few prompts myself. I know we typically give updates. What are you guys feeling? Where do you want to go?
Let's go into your
sort
prompts. Unless there's a major update, but
let's talk about our political sides.
Dude, that's a great idea.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to beat you beat me to it. Dude, you beat
let's
me to
just
it.
debate the whole podcast.
I don't know. This one's like pretty straightforward, but it still is fun. I don't know, like, are you guys kind of disc nerds to a certain degree, where it's like fun to try different discs, or just fun to like find new discs, try them out, see like how they fly, whatnot?
No.
Or are you more so like don't care, just go out and play and like
thing.
try to shoot a good score?
It's so funny because I think the coolest thing about disc golf is me and you, Sajko, enjoy disc golf in completely opposite ways.
Yeah.
Other end of the spectrum, but we both love disc golf. And I feel like I don't try discs at all. I mean, like at all. I have my bag that I really like. Maybe like I bought a Buzz SS because I had tournament winnings. So I got a Buzz SS and I've been liking that. And that was my latest and newest try one. But yeah, I pretty much stick with the same bag.
Was that inspiration from Broad that made you try the Buzz SS, or what made you go with that?
No, not inspiration for Broad. What the inspiration was, my friend Green Thumb. He had a Z Buzz SS, and I threw it. I was like, "Bro, can I have this?" And he's like, "No." So I picked one up like 6 months later.
Yeah, dude. Ever since caddying for Austin and watching him throw buzzes, I don't know if I talked about it on the pod, but I was like, take all my mids out, throw in a bunch of buzzes. So I have like a bunch of old Z plastic buzzes, and they just do. Like one is like flip up to turn, the other one's dead straight, and yeah, disc golf is fun in that way right now.
Bro, and your form's looking delicious as of late. You've improved a lot. I remember when like last year we were talking like, oh, like this, but yeah, I think you've corrected or just gotten better just through consistency, a good amount of things. Like I feel like before it would just flutter out of your hand. Now it's like,
dude, it would.
Boom!
It would, and like it really would depend on the day. Of maybe some listeners can relate to this, but I would have days where it would be launching out of my hand like easily a little over 400 feet, something like that, and then the next day it'd be like 325 max, and I'm like, there's something. Yeah, exactly, like not hitting the pocket at all, and it was so annoying. So that's really like
I
been
do remember
the
that's
focus.
One thing we talked about. That's hilarious. I was like, bro, you gotta hit this pocket.
You're like, dude, you have to rip it, and I'm like, Ben, that doesn't mean anything right now. I know it comes from a good place.
Complicated to form just in general. Like when I was freaking talking to Jay Millie on the previous podcast, it was just like it's so hard to communicate without putting people in the positions or doing it yourself. It's like you can't talk, and it's just feeling. It's just so hard to communicate. So that's why, like, shout out like guys like Overthrow that I think do a good job at kind of communicating it. At least for me, I kind of understand more of their tips and tricks.
Yeah, and like being someone that didn't naturally like I played sports growing up a little bit and whatnot, and I was outdoorsy, but I wouldn't call myself like an athletic individual. So kind of starting out from the base level and then going up, I feel like maybe that would hopefully help convey that to someone, but I could also just be, I'm sure it's very individual based. It's probably not as easy as it is just to be like, I think you can do like the general things like reach outward, do this, like those typical things. But at some point, yeah, it's definitely feel based.
I was telling my buddy the other day, he's asking me questions like how, because here's my tech disc stats, not the flex on y'all, but I can get.
I'm actually interested. I've never used a tech disc.
Oh, dude, that'd be very interesting. I get 68 to 70 miles per hour, pretty consistently every time.
that's so good.
And about over 1,500 spin.
Dude, you're nuking a disc right now.
Yeah, then. I'm nuking. But that's like I can get 71. I don't know how to get above that. That's the thing. But my nose is like the one thing I got to work on that's not great. But yeah, other than that, like my speed and spin are good. And where I'm going with this is my buddy, I'll shout him out, Justin Chu. You know him. He's like a nasty MP40 player, 993, but he can't throw that far. Yeah,
right.
Well, you guys
never met him, but
he can't.
I know he's really good.
Yeah, he can't throw that far, and he was asking me questions like, "I just need you to like come over one day and like put me in the right positions and da da da." And I told him straight out, it's like I can tell you everything that I do to the T, but your body's always gonna like unless your body, it's just muscle memory. Your body's always gonna do a different thing than what you're trying to do, just because like. It's just what you're used to. So it's not. I'm not gonna be able to communicate. It's gonna be over a year of thinking of the same thing to eventually like, oh, I get this feeling now. But that's what I was like just trying to tell him is like, you're not gonna I'm gonna say all these things and your body's gonna do like what it's been doing, even when thinking about it. It's just how weird and intricate it is. And the reason I can throw that far and that hard is like it's been like 3.5 year journey where now I'm finally comfortable with how my form's looking. But it was just a grind, and I think that's what people need to realize is that like you're always gonna be working on it, pretty much.
Yeah, completely. No, I do appreciate you saying that, because if I've learned anything from like making content, it's that I like doing like working on form and stuff like that, but it's like most people don't care about that. Like, it's kind of like to put it in like a blunt way, it's like talking about like this person's kid that you have no idea, and they're like super stoked about it, and you're like, yeah, that's great, but like, I mean,
yeah, it's because you can't correlate. Yeah, you can't like, oh, I had this huge breakthrough. I freaking started throwing my elbow and getting in the pocket deep, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that means.
They're like, dude, rent is due and it just got doubled and I'm kind of sad. So like, does that actually matter? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people don't really care, but it's fun for me. So I guess we're similar in that vein. But yeah, back to the prompt, I suppose. So today I'm going to shout out Broad. That's why he was on the brain, because I got in the Broadbird.
Ooh, the Broadbird. Ooh, show that off.
The Broadbird star, like flat-ish Firebirds, like super, like really, really good run of Star Plastic. So like, Broad, if you're listening to this, it's definitely like, if this was what's the exact term? If this was a collab series, and like if it was mine, I would be super proud of it. Like that's how good it feels to me. Like anyone that bought one, I'm sure they're super stoked on it.
So,
but that's
is it like a? Because it's at the end of the day, it's a Firebird. So like, what is the qualities of it that makes it like kind of special? Like where he's like, oh, this is like good, or you, I guess, not even him, where you think like, oh, like this is like more primo. And I know caveat. I know I said it's a Firebird, but I also know when it comes to Innova, like you can have 10 different destroyers and they'll all feel different. Flight different, and even have like slightly different, in the plastic. So
yeah, totally.
What's a good characteristic about that
one? So for starters, like it's like our super good run of Star Plastic. So I know we've talked about how Star can be all over the place. It feels very similar to Halo, where it's like gummy, but it still has the rigidity to like dig in on a sidearm and not feel like it's just like flopping around in your hand. I think it made me realize I've never thrown a Star Firebird somehow. I've always thrown like a Champ one or like a Sexton, stuff like that. And feeling this, I'm like, I mean, I don't even know what like a stock Star Firebird goes for nowadays. Probably like $15 or something if I had to guess. But I mean, that definitely beats
Yeah.
like going for, some other crazy run of plastic. I know it's hit or miss, but yeah, it feels really good. It's like a little bit straighter than, at least this one anyways, is a little bit straighter of a Firebird. So it pushes forever, but then like hooks up like, like a Firebird does. And for me, that's what I want that's what I want out of that kind of slot. Like I'm not really, at least like the cool part about this last year is I've really started to understand my game where I like to throw a lot of more so neutral discs and manipulate angles. So like a little bit overstable or like a little bit understable, and then not really like too many crazy things on either end. So for my kind of game, it's perfect. So yeah, go snack one if they're still available. You're welcome, bro, Derek.
Swag.
But anyways, do you guys have like new additions to the bag? So these are kind of the prompts. We're getting there, guys. Don't worry.
I'm
Do you have like a new
this.
disc to the bag that you're stoked about? Do you have a disc right now that you're just like clicking with it and you're feeling it and your boys right now? Kind of like maybe there's one that you just lost that hurt, or I don't know, even one that you just took out because you're like, I'm not really feeling this thing. Yeah, what do we
Go
got?
ahead. Yeah, Jamie, you've been quiet. You can start this one. He's pulling out
I
his
gotta take a
back.
sip. Man's got it on deck.
Well,
Or
so
is this
something
about
I've
to be
been
a
thinking about
Throjo
lot
sponsorship?
recently- It's not a Throjo sponsorship, but I actually he sent me a bunch of discs,
Yo,
and
dude, with Darth Vader?
Bro, I watched
Yeah,
the
it's
first Star
pretty
Wars Sunday. The first time I ever watched
Yeah.
it. I just watched it.
You've never
yeah,
seen
funny.
I'm
Star
starting the
Wars, Mike?
series.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. We're gonna. I
Yeah.
mean, this isn't the podcast for that, but that's insane.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
yeah,
wild.
J Mill,
Hit
tell
us
us.
with it.
Well, I'll say this first. Throjo sent me a bunch of really sick discs, and they're actually discs that I'm gonna try out in the bag. So those are cool things that cool discs I'm gonna try.
Whoa.
And the main one I'm gonna try is this Darth Vader one, and it's a Crave. And I've heard really good things about Craves, but I've never. Oh, sick! There you go.
Throjo's James Conrad parallel.
James John Rad.
But this is Throjo's parallel.
James
This is like
John Rad.
this is what it's called. The
Oh no
James-
way!
Yeah.
Oh,
Throjo's
that's
parallel.
sick.
There's only 50 prints of this with the Throjo's backing of James Conrad.
Dude, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
Dude, man's got the crave. You've never thrown one. Are you stoked?
Oh, yes. Well, so what I was going to say is I've recently wanted to try to do like more mold minimalism, kind of just based off of hearing that Gannon doesn't throw a ton of discs and he just really
Dude,
knows
he
the discs that he has.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so like I don't have a ton of discs in my bag, but there have been times where my discs have done things that I wasn't expecting them to do. And so I was like, okay, I can solve this by throwing less discs and being more intentional and like understanding what my discs do better. And so I've recently been trying to take stuff out of my bag. Except I'm going to try out this Crave. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, so I have Jimothy, obviously. So I'm going to try Buzz, like Flippy Buzz, Straighter Buzz, and then I think I'm going to go Pyro for my overstable slot there. And then I'm going to try out the Crave for like my more flippy fairway driver. And then I have a Raptor and a Captain's Raptor. And then I am going to do Flippy Halo Wraith, Straighter Halo Wraith, very kind of like a little bit more stable Halo Destroyer that's kind of been beat up, and then a PD2. And I think that's going to be the bag I'm rocking with. Well, and then Inner Core, Cache, and Zone OS. So I don't know. I could probably simplify it even more, but
I think I think that's a solid simplification to start off with. Like you said, that was when I caddied for Gannon. That was the one thing I thought was crazy. It's like he had two throwing putters, P3X and like a Logic or something, Flippy, and a beaten tactic for his like approach, and then his MD5, and that was it. And for mids, it was like I think he has a MD3 that's his like flip up disc, and his overstable one is that MD5, same thing. So I don't even know. I don't even think he is. He might have a third mid, but yeah, it's just like he knows. The biggest thing was to me is that P3X that he was just throwing everywhere, like on different angles and stuff like that, where it was like his where as I have like a cache, a zone, a P3X, a freaking logic, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you're like, disc golf's hard. Do you guys have a disc that you've lost that you still think about to this day?
Yes.
I was talking about this with my buddy the other day, and I don't even know if I have an answer, but Ben, yeah.
So let me answer your first question.
Yeah, please. We're all over the place.
This will go into it. So a disc I've been really leaning on, or was leaning on, which is why it's going to go into it, was this Halo Wraith. I lost that Buff 17. It was just like I would bomb it. I'd flip it up, flip perfectly, and come back. And it, like, Gannon randomly took it out of my hands one time and signed it for some reason. Like, totally unprompted. So I thought it was just like a super cool disc to me. One, super useful, and it was cool. It was like my Gannon Burr Wraith. That one I recently just lost, which is like one I've been like kind of, because I got a new Halo Wraith, and it's just not as the same. I got to beat it in a little bit. But my workhorse that I've been really loving, that I just lost, but it came back, thanks to Gage Benson, is an S-Line, old swirly S-Line MD2.
Oh, dude, you lost that? Because I know that was like that was your baby.
It's still my baby, bro. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know what an MD2 is supposed to fly like. Allegedly, it's supposed to be like when they first came out, it was like stable, but it's just the perfect flip up and ride disc. It's not like a flip up and burn over disc. It's so easy to find those, but something you can mash and it flips up and then has integrity. And I think that's because it was stable in a past life. That's my disc that I've been really kind of leaning on for mids. And then, I mean, other than that, yeah, that Halo Wraith, definitely a bummer that I lost.
Halo Wraiths are the GOAT.
They really are.
Indeed.
You guys got to try.
Indeed, they are. Dude, the Maple Hill used rack, as I've talked about, is unreal. And I found one of the 2020 Garrett Girthy Halo Wraiths that just have the most insane amount of dome of all time.
I think that's the one I lost, a Garrett Girthy Wraith.
Yeah, they're just I think they're like one of the most stable runs of of Wraith, like when they start out. And yeah, it's beat up and beautiful. But yeah, this past I guess it was on Monday. My bandmate that I used to like tour with and we'd write music together and whatnot, I just kept seeing him randomly all over the place. You know, when life kind of does that like weird stuff where people just keep getting brought into your life over and over again in like a short span, and you're like, what's happening right now?
Seeing him like in person? Yeah,
seeing him in person like a few times. Like he drove by where I live and he just randomly stopped and he's like, dude, what's up? You live here? And then like I saw him
that story.
Because I live close to like a course. So I found out that he like still plays disc golf. And then like I saw him at another course like a couple days later, and I was like, this is pretty wild. So I learned that he still plays disc golf when I showed him like 2 or 3 years ago. And it kind of warmed my heart to see that, because it's like we've talked about before, like you put out a bunch of content and then you're like, oh yeah, people are like seeing this stuff on the other side. Like, you know, it just inspire other people to like still want to go play and whatnot. And he's like, we got to hang out. I want to go to Maple Hill. I've never been. So we did it. We hit it up, and it's fun to watch him. Fun to watch him play.
He made another round disc golf. That's what a start. Was it a start to a storied career? Getting straight on. I mean, it was for not a great reason, but what a start to the man's career. It's just like he's just out here. Oh, I'm gonna play Maple Hill, and makes it onto another round.
Yeah, Innova, for the one that I posted for my personal account, Innova was like, hey, can we use this? And I sent a picture to my buddy, and he's like, I'm more famous for being bad at disc golf than I am. So he just put out like a a record, like a folk record, and he's like, I'm more famous for being bad at disc golf already than I am for being good at like writing music. And I was like,
And by the
man,
way, I listened to his song.
yeah, he's pretty good, right? I don't know if that's like your
Yeah,
cup
I
of tea or
listened.
anything.
I listened to it and I thought it was really good.
Wait,
I was very
what?
impressed.
Yo, we support our
Whoa.
friends. Yo, high five, everybody.
Yo, shout out Joshua Sandage.
We
Yeah,
shout out
my
our
good
friends.
buddy.
What is the band
Uh,
name? I thought it was something. It was very
Fox-
indie.
Twin barrel Foxglove. Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to like
it's so.
hey, that man's
it's
just
like,
like
the
how can I
stereotypical
combine
India's
just random
name.
words?
But that's isn't that every indie
Rainbow
like
Kitten
punk
Surprise.
band? Yeah, like stuff like that where it's like there's so many of those like kind of bands that are obscure that have like 7 different names that I can't think about. But in college, I was on a college radio as a host, so obviously everyone there is like freaking playing like Barnacle Butter Boy on a Thursday. Like it's just like crazy stuff that I've never heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Throwing a little American football. There we go. I should know that.
Modern baseball.
Yeah, modern baseball. Considering we kind of came from
The
that
front
adjacent
bottoms.
scene. But yeah, whether it's him
Yeah.
or anyone. Sorry, real quick. Josh Milley. Whether it's him or anyone, it just I don't know. That might be like my subtly favorite part of disc golf is when you bring someone that's newer or newish and they have a desire to want to go to these places. Like you don't feel like I never like drag anyone or be like, bro, you gotta come out. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, you're such a hype man. And I'm like, yeah, as soon as I see you throw like a good shot, I'm stoked about it. Like it's fun. Like that's I don't know, man. That's just how I am, I guess. Like you said that you guys like yell at tournaments, but in like a good way where you're like, yeah, get in. It just makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, it's just better. I mean, it's better experience for me, and hopefully it's a better experience for whoever is with
Right.
me at the same time.
It's just so
Right.
hard for me. It's just who I mean, you can, if you guys listen to the podcast, it's just who I am. Like, I'm just like a friggin' spaz where it's just like, I'm just like, come on. Yes. I'm not normally that loud, but like sometimes I just like do some weird things on the teapot, especially body English, but it's just like, just who I am naturally.
I think we've used the term "fake it till you make it" on this podcast, and I think we're all kind of the opposite of that. Now that I think about it, I think we all are just kind of
yeah, I
being
don't
ourselves, and then just like that's it, man. You're not just like, oh, this is who I have to act like I have to be to like put out content. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is just making some stuff
I've
because
always-
that's how you are.
I've always wondered, like someone like Oliver Tree. You guys know who Oliver Tree is.
Yes.
Like, yes, he's famous because of the act he put on. And that's the only reason he's famous. Well, not like maybe he could have been like successful, but not as successful. Like that's his whole shtick, however he is. But I've always thought like does he hate that like he has to wake up in the morning and just put on this like character every day when he's like going out to? I've always thought like how people, because there are some people that put on this that that have been successful and famous because they do this like character. So I've always wondered like I wonder what that's like for them. Is it like enjoyable, or is it something like where it gets old where it's like, okay, well, I gotta act like a certain person for the next 7 hours while I'm out in public?
Mm-hmm. No, I could
I'm
definitely
sure,
see that.
I'm sure people get tired of it. There's no way they don't.
But
yeah, Josh, I'm
I,
sorry. I cut you off. What did
Oh,
you,
no.
what'd
I
you
was going to
have?
answer your question. I was going to tell the disc that I lost that I still miss.
Ooh, yeah, please.
Well, so I have 2.
Don't tell us
My-
it's Jimothy.
No, I still have Jimothy. I have lost Jimothy like 4 or 5 times. I haven't lost him in like a year or 2 years now, but he's come back to me quite a few times. But
Hard to lose it when you're hitting fairways over and over again.
yeah. I lost my like Undertaker that I've had forever, like a week ago, which is so sad. It was beat into perfection, super flippy, amazing. Love that disc. Carved the woods with it, but it's gone now. Gonna miss that disc forever. But a disc I miss even more was a 2021 Paul Ulibarri Raptor that I had signed by him. I actually lost it in a video when I went to Eagles Crossing. And that was the disc
Dang.
that I like. I just used that was my workhorse forehand, backhand, overstable disc. That was like the first overstable fairway that I fell in love with, and just loved it, loved it, loved it. And I lost it that day because I tried to flex it and it never came out, and it went straight into the lake. And so it was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of probably the end of it. Like it was too flippy, but it was still a great disc, and I probably still would have gotten a lot of use out of it, but miss her.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine is I lost my Birdie Disc Golf Supply Reach that they had sent me, the glow one. And I was throwing
I've
from
never
golds.
thrown any of their discs.
They got some good stuff, man. I was throwing from Maple Hill Gold's tee pad, hole 1. And I don't know if you guys have this thing, so let me know. Do you ever, so like there's almost always a headwind for listeners on hole 1 at Maple Hill. So like throwing the reach, like that should be like a perfect disc for my arm speed to like put it on hyzer and it'll like flip up and over and then should get across. I don't know if you guys have this. Sometimes where I'm like last second, I'm like on an angle. So I'll be like on hyzer and in my head, I'm like, it's not going to get there. So I like pop up flat or something like that. Do you guys ever do that?
I kind of have the opposite where I'll be flat and then my body will just revert to hyzer.
Really? Yeah. So I did that and I hit it flat and just cruised right over.
Burn.
Yeah, cruised right over into the center of the pond and didn't have my name on it. So I'll never never hear anything about it ever again. So that one kind of hurts still.
Dude, I actually, when I was in Charlotte, I lost, I don't know if I told you guys about this. Trash Panda gave me an ozone that was made from old Champion plastic.
Oh!
And it was like way more overstable than a regular ozone. And it was beautiful, felt great. It looked awesome. And it was one of 6 made.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you throw that? That's where I'm thinking. Just that is a collector's item.
I was on hole 6 or hole 7 at Scrapyard or whatever, the iconic hole. And I was trying to water skip.
Oh, no. Dude, you lost it at hole 8? Like the first water hole?
Well, I was trying to do the water skip ace. And so
hole 8.
Dude,
you'll get that back.
Ton.
You'll easily get that back if your name's on it.
Well, I don't have my name on it.
Dude, you're screwed because there's
and threw it in the water. It was sad.
I don't know the gentleman's name, but there's a guy that's famous in that area that always goes in the water.
I only know that because I saw him do it in front of me when I was after the ace run we did. I was just throwing back and forth the germ, and the guy was just in waders, and it's not that deep. That's why I said you're gonna get it back because it's like waist high water. It's not that, dude. I would have dove in for that thing. I would have been like, Champion Panda, I need it.
Yeah, I didn't get to throw it, but I watched Jesse and Joseph throw it, and way more stable run of ozone, and super cool. I mean, they both parked whatever the like 350 foot
the
hole
water
is
carry
scrapyard.
That might be hole 9.
It's like
it might be the hole after it.
No, it's like hole 4 or something like that. Hole 3.
Anyways. Yeah. I've only
that's
played
a good bird.
Scrapyard 1 through 9, but I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that's a good bird. I mean, I guess that's mine. When I was hanging out with my buddy, I mean, I lost my oldest wraith in the bag, and not even in like a way where it's like, oh, dude, that's gone. More just kind of like this time of year, there's just a quadrillion leaves all over the ground, and you're just like, all right, cool. I guess I just can't find it. It's not like it was anything like glorious or anything crazy. It's just like, well, that kind of sucks. Sick. Yeah, I hope I get it back.
The worst way to leave or lose a disc is when you leave it. When you throw 3 shots and you leave it. And that's what happened to my Undertaker that I mentioned earlier. I just left it on a hole after throwing a few shots. I just left it.
I did that today.
It hurts, dude.
What, left a disc?
Worst.
Yeah, I did that today with my ace disc that I just recently aced with. I just
left
it. But I went to go. I remember. I went to go bet it. The con, yeah. I went to go.
So you have it?
Oh yeah, I went to go get it like that, like an hour later, because if Maple Hill, you're not gonna know unless you've been there. But it's like hole, once you cross over to hole 8, like you pretty much get back to hole 8 on hole 14. So like the basket where hole 14 is. I guess maybe this is honestly, if you've seen it, you could probably know. The basket where hole 14 is the huge over the water carry shot, hyzer. If you is like hole 8's tee pad is like maybe like 100 feet from it, not even. So that's why I left it on hole 8, so I was able to like go back around.
Yes. Also, is hole 14 Golds at Maple? Is that actually the scariest hole in the world, or
No?
Or no? No.
It's not.
Okay. Do you
Only
have one that actually comes to mind, or
scariest hole in the world? I think like Ledgestone 12, stuff like that. The only reason it's not the scariest is because
That's the hardest hole. Is it the scariest though?
I feel fear when I get up there.
I don't think hole 14 is. Well, yeah, but the only reason I'm saying that is because you could just play it so safe and just throw like the most stable thing and then be good.
Wait, gold though, isn't that like a 440-foot hyzer?
Yeah, it's 440. Like I don't know how much it drops. Maybe like.
But it's not. It's super downhill.
Feet
like
or something.
I could park hole 14 gold like very early into playing. But
I thought he was gonna say putter.
That's what I was. That's why I said don't. I was like, please don't
I'm
make
just
it
saying, like,
if he said, yeah, I was gonna say if he said putter, I would tell Sajko to clip it and then make Ben try that and see if he.
Okay, now I have to go.
That would
try
be great.
It. See if I can get.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not saying it would be every time. I was just an idiot when I first started playing. Like I would try all these things until I got over the water. Like hole 1 diamonds at Maple Hill, I'd always just dunk in the water because I kept trying. So same with hole 14, I would always try it, and some like every once in a while I would get close, even though I wasn't able to throw as far. It's just the downhill helps a lot, like a lot. You just got to put it out there and kind of have it, you can have it drift and then just come back.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
That's
folks.
definitely that is the epitome of a hole where you see it on coverage and you're like, no, it's not even bad. Just like chip it up and take your 3, whatever. Not even a big deal. And you step up and you're like, yo, you just want to like go play the shorter layout or No, it's
dude.
it's
I want
cool.
to play Maple Hill so bad.
Dude.
What's
come
y'all's
up.
best? What's your best ever on golds?
Mine, dude. I played gold 3 times. 2 years ago, I swear, I think this was the best round I've ever played in my life. I was on one. I shot -1 on golds.
No, you
And-
didn't, Sack.
Yes,
Daddy.
dude. Swear.
That's I've never done that. That is insane.
It was all pars, 2 bogeys, and however many birdies.
3
Whatever,
birdies.
easy math. But yeah, just like super boring round. But before I went to go play it, this guy was like, "Just play it for par. Just play every single hole for par." So that's what I did, and then I had to look on like old gold. What is it? Hole 7. Like I had to look for that one. Got that bird. That's a disgusting birdie. I mean, 2 years ago now it's way harder. Even last year it was like way harder. But
dude, I think it's easier
proud
now,
of that.
but we can debate that for another time. I think the one you birdie was way harder.
And then otherwise I shot +3 and then +6, I think, on golds. I've only played 3 times.
Bro, those are like 980 rated rounds.
Dude, I was on one.
And you don't play tournament, bro. Sajko's gonna be the biggest what if.
No. Dude, I played Thompson this weekend. I think I shot like 1 over. So like a very humbling round.
That's like 940. You're degoated.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, whatever. Yeah.
Sajko's not going to be a what if. He's going to be the 2025 Rookie of the Year.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, you got to pivot. You got to start grinding on the leave everything behind. Start grinding on the DG.
Dude, playing well is easy when you're just by yourself, and it's also
That's not true.
sounds like you're lying every single time as well. Because
Yeah,
you're like,
playing
bro, I
easy is when-
swear I shredded, and everyone's like, totally.
Well, when you're by
Totally.
yourself, it's so much easier because it's like, oh yeah, that was a practice throw, and then you throw your second,
Exactly.
and then you birdied the hole. So it's like,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, exactly. Like playing the Hooley tournament. I think I forgot what I shot, like 5 over or something like that on diamonds, which is nothing glorious. But yeah, dude, it's real. It's real. Like as soon as it counts, you're like, hold up. Actually, my body forgot how to do everything.
No, it's so true.
Yeah, the nerves get to you, man. Well, not you, but like me.
Oh no, they do. They do. I mean, do you guys have anything that you'd like to share? Otherwise, I can share my kind of exciting thing that I can't give too many details about it, but enough that I think at this point it's like seems like it's happening.
I mean, you did share it on your story, so
yeah, you're right.
So I think the secret's
That's
already
enough.
out.
Yeah, but I still edited out like the road name and whatnot so that people couldn't be like, bro, I mean, what they're gonna do there, I guess. But I just don't want people to know yet.
Co-design. I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about that today. I was like, bro, this is gonna be so sick. Sajko's is just gonna be just like a co-designer in a course, just like out of the blue, just for no reason, just randomly. It's just gonna be like designed by Nate Sajko. I was like, that is like kind of legendary.
I mean, he hadn't said anything about it yet, so you kind of just spoiled his news to all the listeners.
Well, I feel like we've talked about this before. That you got an opportunity.
We did off air.
Frick, my bad. Thought it was on.
Anyways, yeah, I'm designing a course right now, which is pretty wild to say out loud, and it's just happened like the most random way possible. So I have a field that I practice in a lot of times, and I was there randomly one day, and all of a sudden they were having baseball practice. So I was like, oh, I gotta pick up my stuff and get out of here. And this gentleman comes up to me and he's like, are you throwing that there frisbee golf? And I was like, oh, you better believe it. And he's like, actually, the town, I don't know if you've heard, we're like doing a course. And I'm like, oh, actually, I heard 2 years ago like that you announced that you were doing it. And he's like, how the heck did you even hear about that? I have a coworker that lives in that town, so he's very much in the know. So anyways, yeah, this dude was like, oh, would love to have you come out and, just give your thoughts on stuff. And yeah,
what,
I got
is he
to
like the mayor of the town or something?
See, that's a good point.
That's so good.
He's the head of
that's so good.
like Parks and Rec for the town.
Oh no way! What are the odds? Just randomly comes up.
Bro,
And does
Yeah,
it?
well, he was like, he's coaching for baseball, and he just happens to be like the head of Parks and Rec.
For some reason, when you said that, Jamie, I'm thinking like a guy with like a top hat and like a tuxedo. Hello, good sir.
Mr.
Is that
Peanut.
the
Yes.
frisbee golf you're playing? I am the town mayor.
Yeah, dude, it was like kind of strange, and it worked out. And then I was like, yeah, we'll see how legitimate this is. And then we've
dude,
met.
literally, that's a lot of disc golfers' like bucket list item, and it just casually happens to you. That's crazy.
That's what I was saying. Like off the rip, like a few years in playing, it's like, yep, course designer. Like that's
just
sick.
complete chance, and like very very lucky. Like this dude is very easy to talk to, open to a bunch of stuff. Because we were going through last night, and it's gonna be like a 9-hole course, but with like alternate pads / alternate baskets, and going through last night and kind of doing the layout. And I was like, oh, I think this would be perfect because you have these 2 lines that you can go for. And the guy's like, I thought you'd not want to like put the baskets near trees. Like basically like implying he would just think everything would be out in the open. And
oh no, that would have been horrible.
Right. So that's why I was like, I'm really glad that I can help provide some insight.
If he was doing it himself, it sounds like might have gone not the best.
Yeah, there are a couple courses in Connecticut that are little 9-holers.
Dude, why aren't you making a full-length video about this? That's such low-hanging fruit. I designed a permanent 9-hole disc golf course.
You got to start now, Sajko.
I have a couple little videos.
Oh, okay. He has the videos.
Yeah,
He's already grinding.
They're vertical, so it was just gonna be a reel. But
what about a full YouTube video?
Yeah, there's still plenty to be done. So I could definitely get full YouTube stuff as well.
Full concrete tee pads, like disc catchers, like what's going down?
Yep. So it sounds like there'll be disc catcher baskets, and then he was like, so concrete, and I was like, everyone has preferences around here as long as you do them well. You said no?
I said go concrete because turf is the best, but if it's not maintained, then it just terrible. Concrete's just the easiest to, just have there, and it'll last for years.
Yeah, I agree. I personally like like a good textured concrete pad.
Textured concrete.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That way, being up here and one dude is on the tee pad being like, "Yo, I'm not gonna shovel it, dude," and then it just turns to ice, and people are, they can't enjoy themselves. So, yeah, I mean, it's like a type of property where very unique to this area. Like, there's not like a ton of park style golf around here, which is very strange because I know that's like really popular everywhere else in the country. And it's like all cedar trees, and the understory is completely open. So like all the lines are already there. It's just about like
That's
choosing
hype.
where tee pads and baskets go.
Dude, that's so sick.
I'm really stoked about it because, like you said, it just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, dude, let's do it. It definitely, like, I'm sure there's some deeper meaning there where you're like,
And he's paying you $1 million.
gee, I wish. No, I'm.
Dude,
stoked.
have you heard the rates for course designers? Like, if you hire some of them,
I know
it's
John
like pretty
Houck's.
absurd.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
What is-
I don't know anything about that. No.
What is his?
this guy?
I just heard this yesterday, so might be incorrect. but
I've heard tens of thousands. Like Eric.
for
McCabe,
John
I've
Houck.
heard 50K
10,000.
for John Houck.
Yeah.
50K.
I think McCabe is like 60 or 40 or something like that as well.
Dude, Eric McCabe this past weekend opened up. He was up in Maine. They just opened up a new course.
Yeah,
like south
and if
of
he
Portland.
designed it, I think he made.
Ooh,
much
South.
money.
That's I go to Portland sometimes.
Yeah.
I can hit that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like a main course that's actually like semi close by, which is exciting.
I know. Yeah, all of them are just like in the freaking nectarines.
I don't know what that means.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
normally
I
you have to
just
go
came
up
up
to
with
like
it.
Lemons, not Lemonster. Dude, I'm blanking. Help me. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Dude, you guys just live a completely different life than I do.
Lewiston.
In what way? Like going to different states?
Yeah, like I go to a different state on vacation. Like I drive 8 hours and I'm still in Texas. Like
When you
But Texas
you
is its own country, so you're good.
yeah, no, that's pretty much facts. Like every city is it has its own
A
culture,
state, yeah.
you know, and like it's its own state. But when like you guys are like, oh, I just popped into Connecticut, or I went to New Jersey, or I went to Maine, or blah blah blah, all those things. Like you guys say you live next to each other, but don't you live in different state or something?
We do.
we do, but we live like 45 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, like that's just absurd. Like
Yeah, think of New England
Yeah.
as one giant state.
I know, and that's
basically.
just crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
like
you guys
hey,
just
man.
casually talking about.
I'm an
Maine
hour
is wild.
within New York. Not New York an hour. I don't know.
No.
But I'm just saying if you just go straight through like Western. But yeah, not an hour for New York, but an hour within Vermont, New Hampshire. Maybe an hour's in some change for Maine, an hour within Rhode Island, like 30 minutes within Connecticut.
Yeah, we're very fortunate in the area that we live for sure, because you're just between like a bunch of cool cities, and then you have like, I mean, I'll talk about Connecticut anyways. Like, there's so much that you can do, even though everyone's like Connecticut sucks. It's like, oh, bro, you got the beach.
The
Like,
WWE
for me, it's a half hour.
headquarters.
It's a half hour to get down to the beach,
That's a banger.
and then it's like, yeah, oh, dude, you're for sure. That's all I can say, for sure.
The Pez factory is there, which is insane.
That's right. Didn't you go on vacation over in like New Haven area last year?
Yes.
That's so funny.
I think we're gonna do that again. That was like what.
Dude,
that,
New
that was
Haven-
unironically
New Haven's sick.
fun.
Wait,
Being down here, Ben, how different is it? I haven't really been up in that area where you guys are.
So here's, all right. One, you guys have water towers just in the sky everywhere. We don't have that here.
Oh
They're
yeah,
just,
all the time, everywhere.
that's the biggest thing I noticed. Two, it's much more sparse, obviously. Down there, like up here, it's pretty lush. Down there, it's kind of like the trees
sure.
are different. Three, I don't know. I was in Dallas, so it's hard to say, but yeah, it was like everywhere was.
that's where I am.
It was just much more like kind of industrial, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's very highway, very
yeah,
like just open, and you can see a ton of buildings. I kind of hate some of those areas. So like when we bought our house, I had to have like a bunch of trees around. Like I didn't want it to be like a new development because it just felt so commercial, like lifeless, and like I don't care. Like I wanted something with character and was established and interesting, and not just like a cookie cutter house with no trees, and like if a wind blew through, maybe it'd knock over the whole neighborhood.
Dude, Texas developments are so like insane. That's another thing that's super different. Like my buddy just bought a development in this town. I'm not gonna like dox him, but I can tell you after. But it's maybe like I'm looking at it now. The town is maybe a mile wide. Like it's one main road.
Is this in Texas or
in Texas? Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm saying. In Texas, but he bought a development there for like, and it was like a mansion for like, you know, cheap comparatively to here. But it's just so weird how it's just like this like weird kind of in the middle of nowhere town that's like a mile wide. It's just like, I don't know. Here, it's not really like that. There's not much land. Everywhere you go is pretty populated until you get to like Western Mass. There might be a few, you know, but it's not like desolate, like where like
there's just so many people in Texas. It's just
and I think Texas is crazy because like you go to Western Texas and it's like
it's just nothing.
Complete, yeah, it's just like desert and desolation, and then same with like, and then you can go all the way down to like near Mexico, Texas. And it's a completely. Whoa! Do you just dox me? Wait, why did you? Why did you just show that? That is so random.
That's amazing.
Have you been doing it the whole time?
No, I just did that.
Oh,
because I thought about it.
I don't. Yeah, listeners, don't worry about it.
That.
Don't worry about it, listeners.
I'm not gonna dox my friend Jay Millie.
Yeah, see ya, kid.
It doesn't say anything.
The things like I can't talk about Texas per se, but at least like the difference between up here and going down south, I've definitely noticed like people up here are always in a rush. It doesn't even matter. Like if they're just like on a Sunday stroll or wherever, like they are just going as fast as they can. If you're going 10 over the speed limit, you're still going too slow, and they'll blast around you.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is in Texas, though, too.
Is it?
I think you're just going to have that kind of people. I wouldn't be surprised if there's less of that here, but there's still a lot of it. And it kind of depends on your outlook, too. Like something I've started doing recently is I used to drive above the speed limit. I intentionally drive either at the speed limit or below it all the time now. And then on top of that, just walk at a slower pace just to kind of like slow things down for myself, give myself space to think. Okay, we don't have to get deep on all that. But
hey, that's
I've noticed more people. Like when I drove fast, it felt like everyone drove fast. But now that I'm driving slow, it feels like everyone drives slow and no one's going fast at all. So I don't know.
Really?
That's just it was an interesting feeling for me to realize. And I was just like, also, I got to my destination the exact same time as I did when I used to drive fast. So,
dude, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's what
now.
Doesn't make sense to me. I feel like sometimes I rush and I only get there like 2 minutes faster. Where it's like if I'm just going 60, it's like enjoyable. Well, because now I have an RV, so I have to go 60. So it's just like,
what? You have an RV?
Yes,
did we?
I do. I don't know.
Did
I thought we talked about
only
this.
talk? Yeah, you definitely said that before, Ben. I don't know if we were all together though.
That might have been the one episode I missed.
Yeah.
How'd
I
you
bought
get
an
an
RV. Why?
Yeah.
Or when? Sorry.
Why?
Oh,
Or when?
both. Like a month ago. 2. I just wanted to
Tour.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
A little bit of that, not tour like on the Pro Tour, but a little bit of just like, you know, I just something I want to do, travel and
Was that when you didn't get the loan on your house?
So it's not it's not a direct correlation. So what Jamie Lee's talking about, I did not get the loan, everyone, but guys, I promise I'm not broke. Just a grant fell through. So it was like basically they were like the grant didn't fall through, even though like I thought I was gonna go through, and they were like, all the grant fell through, you have to cough up an extra 30 grand. And I was like, yeah, no. So I was like, yeah, I'm also with that. But yeah, then that wasn't the direct reason. The reasoning was just because, I don't know, I recently got inspired over summer. Things have been going great with the Expos, and I think I could do something really cool just out on the road, kind of for disc golf in a way. I'm just kind of right now trying to figure out what that might be, whether it's just traveling to tournaments. And I definitely, like, I want to focus more on content and stuff like that. So I think that kind of limiting myself from the luxuries of life. Whereas in like, well, I have a shower, but as in like, you know, when you're in the RV, it's like your bed and then a kitchen and maybe like a dinette. It's like there's not much to do, where it's like where I can kind of be like, wake up in the morning, especially at the Expos when I don't have anything. I can wake up in the morning and be like, oh, like I'm gonna go play disc golf and maybe record and, you know, edit or something like that. So I don't know really the reasoning why, and there's a couple of reasonings why I can't really talk about right now. So there is like a plan for this, but it was just
what does your wife do or fiance do?
She's going to be working just with me. I mean,
whoa,
or for me, or like she's going to be my partner.
That's why you've been teaching her how to edit, huh?
Or trying to, yes, exactly. So that's the kind of idea we're trying to do, like, where since I'm already have to apparently I have to give her my money in my account and share it with her. What the frick? No, I'm just kidding. But
well, you know, not everyone does that, so you don't have to.
I mean, yeah, but obviously I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so we're gonna share bank accounts. So I figured, you know, I have these businesses, and it feels like kind of like a cheat code to have your actual partner be your partner, because one, like, no matter what money you're gonna make, it's still gonna be theirs, and two, it's like, you know, you can work on something together, and it's just a lot easier, whereas as opposed to like paying someone for labor, like, you know, where like I have to pay someone $30 an hour to do something. Like, no, like we could just work on this. It's like a double person, two people running the business, and there's no kind of,
well, also it's great for tax write-offs as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Salary.
Yeah, so two people running the business, and like there's not going to be any like the bad things of business where it's like, oh, like you're not paying me fairly, and it's like, no, she's gonna get 100% of what I get. So,
yeah, true. Yeah, my I don't think I've mentioned it, but my goal eventually is, if I make enough money, is to essentially hire my wife so she can just like do my admin stuff, like.
Yeah,
maybe I'll teach her to edit, and I mean, she already records for me. Like, it would just be the ideal.
That's
situation,
what I'm trying to teach her too, just to like record and stuff like that. So my fiance, unfortunately, is like pretty sick. Not like
she's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like
dapper up, dude.
Not like she's gonna die tomorrow, but like she's like chronically ill, has multiple kind of ailments like that.
Oh no!
So that's why. And that's why it's going to work the best, because it's like she can't really have a normal, like, go into work type job because of just like the million things that are wrong, or not the million, that I feel like that was terrible to say, but the things that are wrong. It sometimes it feels like a million, because like sometimes she's just bedridden for the whole day because she can't do anything. So that's another reason, is because, it'll be much more flexible, where if she just doesn't feel good that day, like there's not going to be a boss being like, yeah, like what do you like, you have to come in, I don't care.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
dude.
that makes a lot of sense.
It's exciting to hear.
I was wondering how it would be possible for you guys to live in the RV with whatever job she has, but if you guys are just working together,
So
that makes a lot of sense.
and there's some
Super
couple
flexible
opportunities that might come of it, and she's down for the ride, and hopefully we'll be able to get those opportunities with me. But right now, that's the plan, is just like she's gonna be working for me. I mean, ideally, like you said, like ideal scenario, I could just like take care of her, and where she doesn't have to worry, and kind of just helps me out when I need her here and there. Like you said, we're thinking the same thing. Admin, like, hey, can you just send this email to this person? Like today, I had her. After this, I got to do a giveaway. I'm giving away Simon Lizotte signed cards, and I had her just go through my Instagram comments, and I sent her like a bunch of screenshots of stories I screenshotted of the usernames too, and she just put that in a database for me, stuff like that, where it's like I need to focus on the expos, like little things, and hopefully ideally the editing, like that'd be sick, because that way I would actually be able to start making content without it being so much of a hassle, where it's more fluid in my life, where it's like, yeah, I can just go play a course and have it record and have it edit in a day, like that's no big deal. But it's like the whole bringing the camera out and setting up every shot, and then having to go back and edit yourself when I have priorities, especially now with the expo being so close. So that's the idea.
Just so everyone listening knows, disclaimer, we are not misogynists. My wife would prefer this life.
Yeah, no,
she will
yeah,
not
yeah.
just be my secretary. This is
good disclaimer. Yeah,
yes,
I feel, yeah.
Disclaimer. We're not
Yes.
just handing off these tasks. Yeah, this would be the ideal situation.
100%.
parties.
I mean, it's just like, it's your partner in life is being your business partner. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, 100%. If she told me that she doesn't want to do that and wants to go like do something else, then like, yeah, I wouldn't be like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Go send my email.
Yeah, exactly. It's what you would ideally like the best. I mean, being an entrepreneur is like one of the, my personally, and I'm sure you guys have kind of experienced this too, now that you're making money off content. It's really stressful life, more stressful than like getting a paycheck, but it's such a freeing life. And I think, it would really work out for her, especially, like I said, just being able to basically, like, if she just doesn't feel good that day, she just doesn't need to do anything. She can just do it. And there's no like quotas to me or anything like that. It's just kind of like, how relationships work, just like cohesiveness.
Yeah, I mean, when I was hanging out with my buddy at Maple, he's like, "How are you able to even hang out right now? Don't you have work?" And at one point, I had to stop to post for another round on their Instagram, but like, that's it. So exactly like you're saying, like, yeah, you're always thinking about like, what's the next thing? Like, what do I have to work on?
Yeah, you're always like,
but at the same time, you have so much freedom about like I wouldn't be able to do that otherwise if I was working like normal, like day job type stuff.
Yeah, it's very nice to be a content creator, but the thing pivots from a ton of stress at once to just like an underlying tone of
That's
stress.
What I was saying. The underlying, there's always an underlying tone.
Yeah.
There's
like
always which sucks.
Because
that's
like
the worst part.
You look at me and you're like, oh my gosh, Vessi flew him out to North Carolina. I'm sure that was so awesome.
I think about that.
Yes,
every
it was
day.
awesome, and it was so fun. But the entire time was me editing, filming, stressing about making sure I got all the right shots, stressing that I'm not messing with the pros, stressing that like I have all the B-roll I need to post the
making
video
sure
that
Vessi's
I need.
happy. I'm sure that's like
making sure I get enough content for Vessi. And so like, yeah, it was awesome. And it was kind of like a free vacation, but like at the same time, it was very stressful and work. And like, I wasn't solely enjoying the tournament. I was enjoying the tournament,
Right.
but it was also a lot of, oh, I should be live vlogging this on my Instagram, and I should do this and I should do that. And it's always like that. You're like, oh, if he's doing disc golf full time, he can just go play disc golf during the day. And yeah, maybe I would go play disc golf during the day, like Sajko's saying. But while I'm playing disc golf, it's like, oh shoot, I got to make sure to edit that short tonight. And maybe even if I already have the short that's edited for tonight, it's like, okay, well, I need to be ahead and have the short for next week edited. So it's figuring out a way to manage those feelings and still enjoy yourself.
Yeah, there's always like this underlying I don't know if too many creators have talked about it, but there's always this underlying feeling of guilt a little bit where you're like, oh,
Yeah,
what's like the next
yourself.
thing? Yeah, exactly. You're like, I could be spending this time working on something, but instead I'm like,
Editing or
yeah, like, is
whatever.
this a good use of my time? Or so it's you definitely have to like you don't have to like schedule per se, but you have to like be really good at time management because there are
I
times.
think it's
Go ahead.
I think it's like doubly worse for us right now just because we have full-time jobs. So we work our full-time jobs.
Dude.
And then outside of that, our time is so much smaller. And we want to devote so much of our time to disc golf and content creation and all that jazz in this already seemingly small piece of time. And so when we do find time to just have free time, go catch a casual round, hang out with our wives, enjoy ourselves, it's like, oh man, like I already don't have enough time and I need to get my YouTube video out by Monday, or I have these shorts deadlines. And so it's so tough to find some healthy balance. And I shouldn't be like, I know this will help the issue a little bit, but I can't be fully reliant on it. If I ever quit my job and start doing YouTube full time, it'll make it easier. It'll still be the same, but hopefully I can find a way to essentially like gatekeep my work of YouTube to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to work hard on my YouTube, but it's going to be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And outside of that is time for me. And heck, sometimes this phone call is going to sneak out there, or maybe there's going to be a tight deadline and I need to do it occasionally. But for the most part, that is going to be Jay Millie and wife time or whatever,
Straight up.
And so that's what I'm holding on to, is that idea that like that's there someday,
Yeah, dude, completely. I mean, like a day like yesterday was like, okay, edit my clip that I post that day, and then 2 things for another round. And then I was also Avery asked me, he's like, yo, could you do like because MVP Gyropalooza boxes just came out. He's like, yo, could you do like a sick reel for that? And I'm like, sure. So I like stayed up, I hung out with Kiara and then stayed up a little later to work on that. Didn't finish it. This morning had to wake up, like go to work. Dude, I had to dissect like 50 deer today, and I'm like sending that file over to Avery, and I'm like, yo, is this okay? I had to do like edit something and then put that up and then do my day job, and then it's like come home, like we had the pod and edit. So it's always a lot. So like when you said, Josh, you're like, it is cool that Vessi brought you out, but I could not relate more to the like always stressing and like hoping.
Yeah, the
that
Worlds. I'm sure Worlds was the same for you, dude.
Yeah,
going on
yeah, like I didn't get to play any disc golf down there. It was just me. Like if I was not like going out recording, I was editing, and then like okay, cool. I get to like at the end of the day, we'd get to go out to dinner or something, which is really nice. But yeah, a lot of work, but I'm grateful for it at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't think that I'm complaining. It's just more so verbally processing. I suppose.
I think we're all really busy, but I think the old saying, like, if you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life, I think applies. It's like, yes, we do a lot of work, but it's just like I'm like, this is technically work, what we're doing right now, but it's like enjoyable. It's just like we're just filming a conversation we'd have around the campfire. But I want to kind of on that sentiment of the underlying stress, like for me with the expos, it's like I'm always thinking about the expos, like, oh, I got to do this, because there's so much to do. And then like maybe one day I like am just busy on other things where I'm thinking like, oh, like I still have so much to do. Like I really got to grind tomorrow. I really have to do this tomorrow. or I'm always just like kind of this underlying like this like hum like this hum is always in the back of my head where it's just like expo like even it could be like the dead of July. There's always something to think about and do. Like in July, sure the expo is 6 months away, but I'm already like rebranding the thing. We're reworking the website. Like, and then the worst thing for me is like with this job is you have to wait on people. That's one thing where it's just like there's nothing you can do. Like if I have to wait for my flyers to be made, like there's nothing I can do other than just wait for them. But also wait in the sense like, you know, releasing tickets is a certain time you got to do it, or like releasing the vendor contracts. You know, you got to do that at a certain time. Where it's just like you just have to wait until like, you know, in October, that's when it normally happens, where it's like you kind of want to make the ball rolling then and there, but it's just kind of like patience and wait. So that's why I'm always thinking like, oh, I got to do this, but you know, it's a month out before that product is actually able to come out. But you know, yeah, just my life with the, especially now that I'm running 2, there's way more kind of just like underlying like things I gotta do, because I gotta do it for two events now.
Yeah, it just makes it all the more important. It's like as you guys all heard, we're 3 busy guys. It just makes it all the more important to make time and do stuff with, like your wife, your significant other, family, whoever, because I think a lot of times working on stuff, like I guess the thing that we're pursuing is kind of selfish, but you're also trying to do it because you're like, one day, you know, like hopefully this pans out and like it helps, you know, like your significant other out and whatnot. But then at the same time, all that time that you're putting towards it, it could be really easy to like just focus on the work and be like, I'm going to get to where I need to be. And then you're like, oh, whoops, I'm not spending any time with like all my loved ones. And it's been 5 years and it's like, whoa, where'd the time go? You know, that sort of deal. I'm not saying that I have that, but I could definitely, I relate to what you're saying as well, Ben, because
what are you working for? You know,
exactly.
Sometimes you got to take a step back and think about it.
Yeah,
what are you working for?
This is important for all of us, but it's definitely important to make time for all the people that you care about as well.
I'm working for free discs.
Yes, that's almost me right now.
I feel like that was all of us at one point. Not working for free discs, but like even Andrew Manganelli, he was saying like, like I just kind of want some free discs, like, you know, for out of the like at one point we were all like, oh, free discs, this is the best, I've officially made it. And now it's completely. I'd love free discs, but you know, it's like what are you expecting out of the free disc? If you want me to like, you know, or I'm speaking more for Jay Millie, you're probably like, if you want to make a video of it, there's no obligation. Like you can send me a whole box of this, but like there's no obligation for me to actually do something with it, if that's what you're okay with. And I'm sure at first it was like, send me all the discs, I'll make like 3 videos. And
no, that's so facts. But for me, it was like at the beginning, free discs. And now when I get free discs, it's like free discs.
I love it. It's true. I still love getting.
I still hold the sentiment that's like, I'm not going to make a video unless I want to. You can't force me to. But it's still hype. Like, you know,
100% still hype.
Yeah. It's so awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And mine was not a slight at another round. I don't want you guys to get that wrong idea. It was more so like, you know, like some companies like you guys, like you'll get discs, and I'm like, I'm definitely at the point still where I'm like, oh, it's fun. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I enjoy like testing weird discs, seeing how they fly. So I'm like, you send me stuff, dude, I'll make content. Sure, it works out for me. It works out for you. Why not?
Well,
but I can guarantee that point will come where I'm like, like I can't.
Yeah. But it's always cool, like still to this day, getting that free stuff. I'm just saying, like, you know, as we've grown, it's more so like still hype, but I feel like the expectations kind of changed. Where at first, like I said, like I remember like my first thing was shout out Lone Star, shout out Josh Hofstra. This was when I was on Nick and Matt's show, and I was like, oh, Lone Star, I want to try out some Lone Star. So I reached out to him, and I was like, hey, like would love a box. Like if you send a box, we'll make a whole YouTube video about it. And that was like and it was hype, and it was like, yeah, and we made a whole Nick and Matt show Lone Star video, and it was awesome. But now it's probably not the same. I already said that, so I realize I'm literally just repeating what I said about Jay Millie.
Dude, just Ben stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, where am I trying to go with this? And I was like, and then I realized I already said
every
this.
single.
I already said this. I literally already said this.
Dude, the other day. You know what? Never mind. Yeah, that seems like a really good spot to end the episode.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, send us free discs. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, please send us free discs. I know I've harped on it. I promise I'll make a video about every single disc that's sent to me.
Throjo's video coming soon.
Well, I'm gonna do an Instagram story.
Sick.
Yeah. Well, that's not really what I do. It's just like, I'll at least be appreciative and I'll do a story or something like that where like, because I do really appreciate it regardless.
That's cool.
Yeah, like that's so sick.
If anyone wants to send us all three of us the same disc or something like that, or even multiple, I mean, if you're feeling saucy, would make for a really fun episode, I think. Maybe not quite like a disc review, but that could be like, something somewhat similar to that of us trying that, and then see if we like it, see if other people like it. So our
like
DMs
a disc review episode
are gladly.
I'd be interested.
Are gladly open.
Yeah, that'd be if you manufacturer, and this would be cooler if it was like a smaller manufacturer. If someone knows like a hooligan disc per se. Wink. No,
yeah, I was about to say, like, are you messing around right now? Like, are you being serious? I was so confused for a second.
But I'm sort of being said, like, if a cool smaller manufacturer, like an obscure one, send us like a disc we all could try out, that'd be cool. Maybe we just do an episode about that because as y'all know, Funsie Pod, we're still up and coming. We don't need to charge $5,000 for a 30-second ad read. So
whoa, that's our rate right now, actually.
So, maybe one day.
Heck yeah. Guys, thank you everyone that listens. I was having this thought the other day. I'm sure like listeners have seen. I just straight up, I don't have the time right now to put into like the Instagram and whatnot. And I do feel bad about that, but it's just realistically where I'm at. And the fact that people are still listening, and people will still, just randomly be like, dude, I liked that episode or whatnot. And I'm like, hey, thanks, man. So yeah, really, it does mean a lot. We mentioned before how I think we're talking something about the episodes and how it's nice to meet up every week. I guess I would be lying if every single time I'm like, dude, I can't wait to record tonight. But every single time afterwards, I'm like, man, I'm glad I did that. I love doing this. It's always fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that everyone that listens seems to be enjoying it too.
Yeah. We all just secretly hate each other, and we're like, anything for free discs. I guess we gotta record.
Please. It's been months. I'm still waiting.
All right. That's good, Funsie.
Cool.
See y'all later.
I think so, yeah.
Funsie.
Later, guys.
Bye.